Hello, Helen Ann here. Welcome to Living at the Jersey Shore, our YouTube channel. Please make sure that you take a minute to like, subscribe, click below, all that great stuff. Welcome. It's January 2025. Today I want to talk about some statistics that I had discovered that were a bit of a recap of 2024 and a look ahead going into 2025. This was from a study that was done by Zillow, interviewing thousands of buyers and sellers that had participated in the real estate market over the past couple of years, trying to get an idea of what it is they're looking for when working with a professional. And when they're not working with a professional, what's the reason why? I think this is a great forecast for us to understand what the future looks like. I can tell you that real estate is like the weather. Often it can be raining in the city and completely sunny here at the shore. But one thing about real estate, it has changed nationally as we as agents need to practice differently across the nation. There are some practical changes that we are all making nationwide, and it's really important that we are offering our clients good information, that they understand these changes, and that they can feel very comfortable working with their professional forward. Something that I wanted to share I thought was really interesting. Although they were talking about real estate volume, the number of transactions being down kind of year over year. We've had a little bit of a housing crisis, if you will, and that they're speculating that we don't have the same number of units or the same number of doors or the same number of homes to sell as we had in the past. And then when we have less inventory, obviously drives prices up. However, this past year, over 12,657 homes sold every single day in what was perhaps an economic climate where interest rates were high, energy costs were high, home prices were high. But 12,657 people decided for whatever reason on their time to uproot themselves and go someplace else. So the moral of the story is, folks, market conditions are just that. They're just conditions. They're conditions that we have to play upon in the pond when it's time for us to go fishing. Sometimes the surf is rough, sometimes the surf is smooth. But when it's our time to make a move, you make that move. If prices are high, they're high. If interest rates are high, they're high. If energy costs are high, they're high. I think you get the point. That may be different for investors, if you will. But for folks that are looking for a second home here at the Jersey Shore, like many of you are, or for folks like yourselves that have already purchased a home here at the Jersey Shore, you bought because the timing was right for you. It may not have been the most affordable time, but you bought because the timing was right for you. And I'd like to dive a little bit into that and talk about what, again, is going on, how buyers are feeling comfortable, how sellers are feeling comfortable, and what we can look like as we practice moving forward. As we look at some of the statistics, it turns out that about 93% of home sellers in 2024 used a real estate professional. However, only about 83% of home buyers used a real estate professional. I find that curious and wanted to dive a little bit into those statistics to understand what was causing the reluctance or seemingly reluctance of a buyer to want to work with a professional. Well, as it turns out, of the people that bought homes in 2024, buyers, about 15 or 16% of them actually knew the seller personally. That resonated a little bit with me because I have a great network of past clients and do a great job, I guess, just staying in touch with follow-up. And I'm very fortunate several times throughout the year, someone will call me and say, hey, my neighbor is selling their house. I want to buy it. Or, hey, I was thinking about selling my house and now my neighbor's cousin wants to buy it. What do we do? Can you help us? So that kind of makes sense that some buyers actually do know their seller personally. However, I do still think that if you do know the seller personally, it's not a bad idea to speak to a professional. You can still hire someone much like myself to help you, to guide you, advise you. You need paperwork. You need to have inspections done. You may need to get a mortgage. So there are still things that you may need. So leaning in or onto a real estate professional for buying, depending upon what it is that you're looking for. In this day and age, we as realtors are really crafting our services based upon our clients' needs. I think it's a good idea to have a conversation with your real estate professional to understand how they can best help you and then to craft the services around that. As it turns out, buyers weren't really looking for a strong social media presence in their agent. What they were looking for was a strong presence of those digital tools. Things like 3D, something called a Matterport video. It allows you to sort of walk through the house yourself, really get right up to the tile, really get right up to the wallpaper, really take a close look at some of the features and finishes in homes. Many of our buyers, being in a second home market, are coming from a distance. So they are really looking for digital tools that can allow them to preview homes before they actually have to get in their car and trek that distance. Face it, folks, we can all agree it's not easy to make a day trip anywhere. A lot of us have dogs. A lot of us have grandma living with us. We have to make, there's the dog. We have to make a lot of arrangements sometimes to escape out of the house for a day. And we know how much attention that when you're trying to shop for a home, you want to be able to put your attention to the shopping for that home and make sure that everything at your primary is taken care of. The kids are picked up, rides are taken care of, the pups being walked, food for grandma, everybody's good, that sort of thing. You guys follow me, right? So my point being, a lot of buyers are starting their search online. They're looking at real estate websites. They're looking at videos. That's where they're really trying to find not so much their agent, but they're trying to find listings. And then from there to deciding who they're going to contact. Again, many buyers are looking to social media to find the properties, those digital tools, the virtual tours, professional photos. I know it's amazing what Apple and Android and Galaxy, all of these different brands have done to bring the camera to our phones. But ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, you need to make sure that your real estate agent is hiring a photographer to take the pictures. It's so much more than just having a great camera. You have to understand lighting. You have to understand space and all of these different things. It's not just about the camera. It's about how to use the tools and the proper editing to put it all together. So again, professional photos are a must. The 3D videos, the Matterport, virtual tours, all of those things are what buyers are looking for. And then from there, they're choosing their real estate professional. The most important things that buyers were looking for, and I think that's really a great now chance for us as agents to shine, is that buyers are looking for a real estate professional that can really strategize with them to help them find that perfect property, or the property in their mind that really checks off all the boxes. They're looking for someone to create a strategy for them. And then when they have found that property, that this agent knows how to craft a deal that makes the most sense for them. That's what buyers are looking for. They're not looking for someone that's able to just unlock a door. Days of door opening, the days of pop-tarting, that is over. Buyers are looking again for someone that can strategize with them to help them find the best property when it comes onto the market based upon their criteria. And then they're looking for a professional that can really help them craft the deal that makes the most sense for them. Once they're under contract, what's most important to the buyers is making sure that their professional is organized and has their paperwork together. So again, super great chances for us as real estate professionals to shine. Here's another fun fact for you. As it turns out, buyers preferred text messaging or using some sort of a messenger app over talking on the phone, which is not common. I think a lot of times buyers in a second home market are typically at work during the day and really are not free to speak on the telephone. So we find that messaging, either again through text messaging or a messaging app, is the most effective way to communicate with people. That allows us to be most responsive. And as it turns out, people that when they were working with their agent, 44% spoke to, in terms of text messaging, 44% were text messaging their agent or texting with their agent, messaging with their agent every single day. And 47% of buyers were communicating with a messaging app with their agent weekly. 47% weekly and 44% were texting with their agent daily. So it seems as though messaging was a very quick way for a buyer to perhaps shoot a quick question to their agent, and their agent's responsiveness, getting right back to them, seemed to be the most effective way, again, to keep those lines of communication. Buyers seemed to be, when they wanted to communicate, they wanted to have quick answers. And again, talking on the phone was something that they were a little bit averse to, especially until they were under contract. It seemed as though once buyers were under contract, they were then having more detailed conversations with their agents, working out more details, lining up inspections, things of that nature in the escrow period, having more conversations, and that's when the phone contact tend to pick up. But overall, it seems as though all buyers, regardless of age group, really preferred messaging or some sort of messaging app, which is very interesting. Again, we all know that time is our most valuable resource, and I think we as agents need to be as most responsive as we can to our clients, answer their questions effectively and efficiently so that they can carry on with their lives and make the money that helps pay for these second homes here at the Jersey Shore.
Hey, in this Zillow survey that was compiled from reaching out to customers over the past year and figuring out, what were important things to sellers over the past 2024 when they were considering selling their home. Surprisingly enough, it reverts back to all the reasons why anyone sells their home. It's usually the 3 Ds. What are they? Death, divorce, or downsize. Here at the Shore, typically it's because something major, and not just here at the Shore, but everywhere, there's a major life event that's usually taken place in someone's life, in someone's world. So again, death is always something that's very tragic, or at least it's something that happens to everybody. We can't get around death. It's going to happen eventually. All of us will experience it, hopefully a lot more gracefully than others. But it does happen. And that kind of throws things around for people who do own homes. Who's going to continue to pay for it, etc. It's a good time now. So to maybe touch upon this is that if you're not prepared for the inevitable future of that event, probably a good time now to get your events in order, so you have some kind of succession plan with that property. Divorce is a tragic thing. So we know that this affects property ownership and tends to lead to a sale. And then downsizing. Here at the Shore, it's quite typical, or maybe you had a family coming all the time. Maybe they're not coming as often. That tends to be the reason why. A chapter has changed in your life. You're no longer spending the time here. Your kids aren't visiting, or your grandkids aren't coming, or vice versa. It could be where you're trying to expand upon. So in this instance, not a D, but an O, and it's upsizing is a U. We're getting larger. Back to the Zillow. I say the evil Zillow. What's the reason why most people hire a real estate agent, or what are they looking for in a real estate agent when they're looking to sell their home? What is it that most people are looking for in a real estate agent when they're selling their home? Responsive, trustworthy professionals. Somebody who has market knowledge, somebody who has a sales history, somebody who has their feet on the ground, who has success in getting property sold. That's who most sellers are turning to in this time. What we are seeing is over the past few years, multiple offers are no longer in everyone's forefront. They're not happening anymore. You're lucky to receive an offer. As the market shifts a little bit and prices are kind of adjusting and getting back into where market value is and not accelerated through some outside forces. So what we're seeing is that we're not seeing the multiple offer situations. Could it happen? Absolutely. That, again, is one of the major reasons why you should hire a true professional, somebody who has been involved in multiple offer situations that can help directly guide you through that process. Most sellers are looking for somebody who is ingrained in the market, has a pulse as to what's happening as far as what's selling, what's lingering, what buyers are looking for, what people are calling about. So these are some of the qualities that are very true to the success of your accomplishment of getting something sold. Most agents that are successful, they do have a market plan. So be sure to ask for their marketing plan. How are they going to advertise your home? Are they using professional photography? Are they using the digital products that are available today? So somebody can look, check out, and tour your home at the comfort of their home while it's winter right now, and kind of get an idea as to what it is that you have that maybe intrigue them enough to get in a car and put forth some sort of offer for your property. As far as sales go, we are seeing some, because of prices not completely accelerating over and over and over, we're seeing a little bit of a pushback on appraisal values. Appraisal values are very important when you want to sell your house. It's fantastic that you want to get a very strong number for the sale of your home. Many buyers be happy to give you that number that you're asking for your home because they want to buy it. But what comes into play is when someone is mortgaging a property, there will be required an appraisal. If that appraisal cannot match or exceed what that purchase price is, now we have to go through renegotiation or figure out how that buyer is going to move forward because the lender does not feel that value is there. Hey, my theme for 2025 is optimism. I felt as though in the last couple of years, we've really had to be truly gritty in every aspect of our life. Pressure from utility costs, from moving your children onto their next chapter, from all the things and pressures of parents getting older and keeping yourself healthy and getting active and all those fun things. Having that gritty mentality is a virtue. And I think as we head into 2025, it's really important to keep a very optimistic outlook, because I really do feel as though we are headed into a golden age, not only in real estate, but with life and in America. Is a very good lesson in not quitting. Never quit. Once you quit, it's over. If you ever surrender, if you ever give in, if you ever quit, that's the end of the game. It's over. I find maybe that's why I'm so drawn to sports, because in sports, and the way I was raised is that you never give up. There's always an opportunity, no matter how bleak it is. I think it was an example in last night's national championship, college national championship. You had two teams that had faced some adversity over the season. They had lost a game that they were supposed to win, or they weren't supposed to lose. And it didn't work out their way. But they didn't fold, they didn't give in, they didn't quit. And that was the true beauty of it. Not only did they get stronger as a team, they got stronger in their faith in Jesus and God, and they moved their team forward to be able to get into a national championship. Credit to both teams, credit to both schools and coaches for kind of pulling their teams together, never allowing them to quit, and never surrender to a hurdle that maybe at the time seems very insurmountable. If you never give up and you never quit, you will always have an opportunity to rise and get to your goal. Let's keep that in our hearts for 2025 and never quit. Keep moving the ball forward. Even if it's an inch, every little inch is going to add up when we get over to the end of the year. And then you're going to go, wow, look at all that I've accomplished. So I thank you for all your optimism going into 2025. I look forward to seeing you all very soon in this coming year, and make it a fantastic day. May all your dreams come true. God bless.